your account is very small, that would be charity work for me.
Oh, you're like 70K ka punch. Some people in this industry who are literally just nice to your face because you have a sort of...
Islam doesn't have a lot of grace, meaning that Islam is not forgiving, right? And she's like, it's always like, if you don't do this, you're a bad Muslim. If you don't do this, you're a bad Muslim. And I was like, yeah, that's the westernized view of Islam, right?
I love us. We spoke about the whole word and we were like, hi, yaar, theek hai, it's okay.
It's okay.
Sanuki. Some people are actually taking time to work on themselves, whereas others are like, oh, let me see now what she did wrong. I think, how do I say it very nicely and not bring a lot of hate?
Don't say it nicely.
The thing is, I feel like people have just switched their roles. Women are acting like men are acting like women. Anytime anyone says something nice, boy or a girl, I do this. Which is why nobody's taking me seriously.
Hello and welcome back to the show. If you're new here, I'm Sheen, your host, and today I'm super pleased to introduce you to one of my funniest and craziest friends all the way from Abu Dhabi. So please join me in welcoming Sidra.
Hi.
Hi Sidra, how are you?
I'm very well.
So I want to tell everyone how I actually found you the first time.
Really? You never told me that story.
Did I not tell you?
No.
Oh my God, it was literally one of your Ramadan vlogs.
Ah, yes, now I remember.
And I think it was the one where you're telling your dad, just lie and tell them the food is really good. And I was like, what? Wow, I just love the commitment to this. And then I binge watched everything you did and I love the content.
Yeah.
And then I think we just started DMing after that.
Yes.
And we had such a funny interaction already.
After that, we have shared like everything.
I know.
I know you, you know me.
Yeah. But come on, now tell everyone a little bit more about you.
Well, I try to create funny videos. Mm-hmm. Most of my content is Bollywood content.
Yeah.
I find a lot of pleasure in how do we say it?
What word? Say it in Urdu, I'll translate it for you.
I'm not uneducated. It's just I'm not getting like the right word. Pick any classic Bollywood, funny Bollywood cringe scene and I love to recreate it. And I love after that whatever the audience has to say.
Okay.
So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I do like a lot more stuff, but that's my page in a nutshell.
Okay, but take us back a few years.
Yeah.
Where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born
here,
in Abu Dhabi.
right?
Yeah.
So you're a UAE kid.
Yes. Ishi Biladi.
Yeah. So how was it growing up here?
It was amazing actually. I actually went to an Indian school. I'm a Pakistani, but I went to an Indian school. I think I have like 2 Pakistani friends at this point and majorly only Indian friends. I've only had Indian friends all my life. And after school, I went to Abu Dhabi University. And a lot of my school friends joined me in university. So it was pretty much like an extension from school to university. And it was great. Even in school majorly I was exposed to Indian culture a lot, Indian food a lot. But in university, there were like many other people. And I think it was a very valuable experience. It was fun, school and university both.
Okay. Did you ever think you would end up on the internet?
No.
No?
No. I always had a thing for it though.
Okay.
Yeah, I always wanted to... people think I'm a good singer. I used to sing, but I stopped singing. Don't make me sing.
I was just about to say, let's hear it.
No, that is not what we want to do here.
Okay.
So I used to participate in a lot of extra curriculum. My parents always pushed me, like, go, if you want to dance, go dance. If you want to speak. So I used to be in all of those elocution competitions, singing competitions, dance here and there, not a lot. So I always had it in me. Like one of my professors at university said, you have the quality of an orator. And I was like, thank you so much. I looked back, I said, what is an orator? But then I knew what she was talking about. So I had it in me always, I think, here and there. But yeah, it now got explored.
But honestly, I think you are a born entertainer, right? But that requires having a lot of confidence, especially in front of people.
Yeah.
Where do you think that confidence comes from? Because I'm sure you get it a lot as well. Online, a lot of people ask me, how do you become more confident, whether it is in front of the camera or in front of people? Where do you think yours comes from?
To be honest, I don't know if it's related, but I think I'm a sort of a people's person from my childhood. Like I always loved talking and I always loved making friends, making a conversation out of the blue. I think from there, like I never had like a stage fright. I was never scared like to be on the stage. So when I could do that in front of like real people, I think being on social media was amazing. It's just me and the phone. Yeah. So I don't think it was like it's come from there. But my parents both are very huge introverts. My dad is a super introvert. My mom is a super introvert. Also my brothers. I'm like the unique mal.
How? Where you got everyone's confidence into you.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously they're great in their own, their own field.
But they just don't want to be in the public eye, basically.
Yeah, no, not at all. My brothers hate the social media completely. Sometimes I want them to be in like part of my videos, as well, but it's a complete no.
Okay.
And my mom and dad, no, not at all. Because they don't want to be.
Yeah, and it's a different generation as well.
But my sister-in-law.
I love her. She is your main character.
She's my everything. She's my screenplay, my
your cameraman.
She's my everything. And so are my nieces, her daughters.
I see now. They're always your props in the videos.
That's home production.
Home production, I can see.
Yeah. Initially, she's an introvert. But I think now, because she's my cousin as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we're first cousins. She's my aunt's daughter. And she was like, I never knew I signed up for this when I got married to your brother. What are you talking about?
She got a full-time job as well.
Also her kids, they're like, what are we doing? I said, no, today you're Rajpal Yadav. I don't care. But they help me and I think it turns out brilliant.
It does. And everyone loves them. And they are very good at acting with you as well. They try to not laugh.
They try.
Bless them. Tell me, how did it all start?
You won't believe as much as I told you about my extracurricular, I always wanted to do something corporate. I've never had a corporate job before, by the way.
You're not missing out.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people tell me that, but I always thought of myself as like, like someone in the corporate world. So I would also say I used to follow my peers a lot. So my best friend in school was into numbers and finance. And I was like, okay, if we're going to university together, I'm going to do the same thing. I never thought maybe I should like explore like a different, maybe I have something nicer, maybe I should do that. I never thought about it. So I finished my degree in finance and management. And right after that, we were like, okay, let's just do CFA. CFA is like someone like people do like who really want to bag like a great job in the finance department. But we're just like, okay, because she's doing it. I was like, okay, let me do it. Because at that point, we're just like, okay, let's just get a great job afterwards.
Yeah.
Because that was filled up in our head. Like, okay, you're going to get a great job if you do CFA. So I did that. She is brilliant because that's her thing. Yeah. So she passed all the 3 levels. I failed the first level 3 times. So I was like, okay, this is not for me. It's not working. Yeah. And that very minute, there was something called Instagram. I'm taking you 8 to 9 years back.
Right.
And I was like, okay, what's going on? And I think on that time itself, Dubsmash was introduced. Do you know Dubsmash? No? Okay, Dubsmash. Anybody? No. You're like, what are you saying?
I think it's ringing a bell, but I'm not sure what it is.
Dubsmash is like this little app where you used to like lip sync.
Oh, yeah.
Dubsmash, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm bored. There's nothing to do. I don't have a job. I don't have a degree. What do I do? So I was like, okay, I'll just make a Dubsmash. I started making 2-3 Dubsmashes and I look at them and I'm like, okay, lip sync on point. So, okay, fine. Let me just put this on my Instagram. I didn't even have Instagram at that point. I posted my video. I think I had like 13, 14 followers, but my video crossed 1,000 views in a day. I was like, what? What's going on? There were no hashtags. There was no reels. There was nothing. I just posted. Everybody's like, oh, you're so good. It gave me a little bit of push because I think I was in sort of depression at that point because I've been constantly failing and I never failed before.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be that kid who had it all, like who's doing extracurricular and who's studious as well and everything. So when I got that little appreciation, I kept making more. Now it was like an everyday thing. I think I posted like 6 Dubsmashes and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do.
Okay.
And my dad was very upset because he wanted me to be on the same road of CFA, like, past the level already. What are you doing? Like, this is your thing. And we used to have a little bit of a tiff, me and my dad that time, although I'm very close to my parents. Yeah. But my dad was like super upset that why is she completely changing her grade? Like, she's not taken the road at all. Like,
but that's expected, right? For Desi parents. They do.
Yeah.
Even my parents, right? They always want you to follow what in their world, in their generation was considered like the successful path, right? So that's why they see that as stability.
I don't think they had
more
a problem
money.
with you.
Oh.
Look at how educated you are. I feel underqualified.
And now I do influencing. So it's even the biggest fault.
Why are you not in the university? Doctor.
Yeah,
no. So my dad and I, we used to have a little bit of tiff. He used to tell my mom, what is she doing? But then it's been a very slow journey, but it's been great. Things started coming to me at the right time. Yeah, there were followers coming in. Then from the followers, I had like my first campaign.
Oh, wow.
And they said, we're going to pay you 500 dirhams. I said, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the first campaign really validates you, isn't it? Even if they pay 10 dirhams, you're like, you're willing to pay?
Baby? I thought you were just going to send me products.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so from there,
so Dubsmash was your first platform?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. And then eventually you shifted to Instagram. But what was the big turning point for you where you thought, okay, I've made it in this world now?
To be very honest, I think people would think I'm trying to sound humble, but I'm only like 185,000 followers only. And although
what is the luck?
Huh?
What is the luck?
185K.
Okay.
Yeah. I put in Indian currency. Now, see, I went to an Indian school.
Okay.
You're like, why is she talking
so
like
what
a
is
munshi?
I love how you turn around. You look at everyone being like, is everyone laughing at my joke?
1,85,000.
She's so unserious. Okay, so 185K.
Yeah. I don't think it's a huge number when you say it, but it's not like huge when you see it from an Instagram influencing point of view.
But 185K is not easy.
It's
not.
Not.
Yeah.
It's especially today.
Yeah.
When everybody else is buying followers, you're like,
oh my God.
Can we talk about
this? Okay, I'm going to take a break from your story.
Yes.
But this is my biggest struggle in life because brands don't understand that a lot of influencers are buying and you see 2 million followers and they have 30K engagement.
Yeah. And sometimes they have like 5 comments down there and brand is like, wow, take my money.
5 comments is generous as well. Sometimes, or you know what? All the comments look the same. They're just like fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even we can see that this is bought, but I think brands are still not educated on that front. But then I've had this conversation with a friend who's an influencer, and for a very long time, she was stuck on like 190 something. She wasn't hitting the 200. Yeah. And then she said, I'm considering buying it just to the 200 because everyone else is doing it.
It's frustrating.
It is frustrating. And the problem is then it becomes this vicious circle where everyone thinks, well, if they're doing it, I'll do it. So then now everyone is doing it.
Now everybody's doing it.
And I just think this is terrible. I think some brands are starting to ask for pictures of like engagement on your...
Of the insights.
Yeah, the insights. From there they can see, right, how many views you're getting.
But can I let you in a little dirty secret? A lot of people are photoshopping their insights. I swear. I'm not making this up.
Really?
Yes. Someone I know is also an influencer. He told me. He also runs a influencer marketing agency. He told me that because he's also an influencer himself, he said, I could easily see that this picture is photoshopped. And the influencer has like really sent it to him with a lot of confidence. Like, this is my audience. This is my this. This is my that.
But I'm not surprised. I think people are willing to do anything at this point.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can buy bots that gives you comments as well is crazy. Hey dreamers, quick pause from the convo. If you are wondering what the Dreamers Digest is, it's my exclusive online community where I share behind the scenes goodies, lessons from building this podcast, and all the juicy stuff that never makes it to the final cut. If you're not in it yet, check the link in the show notes and come join us. It's 100% free. Also, shocking fact, 89% of you watching this on YouTube right now are not even subscribed. wild, right? So if that's you, go ahead and hit that button. It would mean the world to me. And now, super exciting news. We launched the Podcast Academy. This is where I've poured everything I've learned from taking this show to 150 million views and turning it into a real business. It's 10 powerful modules packed with tools to help you launch, grow, and actually monetize your podcasts. You'll even get the chance to submit your episode for personal feedback from me and my team. If you've been thinking about starting a show or scaling the one you already have, this is your sign. Click the link in the description box below to learn more. Now, back to the episode.
But it's a lot of money, and eventually you will be shadow banned by Instagram.
That's the problem, right? It affects your organic engagement.
100%.
Why would you
Your
risk
account
that?
is never going to be seen on the feed for sure.
Why would you risk that? I guess money.
It's money. Because, when you see, like you've done like a little lie and you're getting paid for that, and it's been happening a lot of times, then you get into that whole
Yeah, then you're like, oh, it's
jazz,
fine then.
like, okay, let's lie.
I don't care about the engagement.
Yeah,
I care
whatever.
about the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my advice to creators is that it's really not worth it because it's not a game you can play long term. It's a very short term game.
Yeah.
And I get it, though it's frustrating sometimes growing with Instagram because even for me, I plateaued for so long.
Yeah.
It just stopped growing for like 4-5 months.
Yeah.
And then eventually it picked up.
But now you see, like, you've hit the feed and you've hit like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, literally every 10th or 12th video is yours.
Really?
I swear.
Oh,
In
mashallah.
Ramadan, you were all over my feed. This is when I texted you. I said, Sheen, I'm your fan. Yeah, like,
I remember.
I sent you that text because you were all over my Instagram during Ramadan, especially.
But see, in Ramadan, I was posting every day as well. So
I think everyday posting is also a thing now.
it is. It is. I saw someone who was posting 3 times a day on Instagram.
I know who you're talking about.
Who has the time?
But I think it also depends on the content. For example,
depends.
your content is educational.
It takes too long.
One can only take a day to sort
To
of
assimilate,
absorb
yeah.
it. Like, okay, what did she say? Like, to
Yeah.
think about it and then wait for like 3 or 4 days till you post another video. But if it's a cooking video or a mimicry video, people
Yeah.
are like, just bring it on.
Oh, yeah. Of course, especially the TikTok style, right? Where you can
Yeah.
just speak to the camera. It's
Or
easy.
like an ASMR thing. Karte jao. 3 times a day, please.
No, that's easy. But how have you found this is an important question. How have you found the influencer community in the UAE? Do you find them welcoming?
I think some of them are very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Example, like you and me.
Of course.
Yes. But I do know that there is a certain group that doesn't welcome you at all. They're just like, I don't want to say like look below you or something because you get to meet these influencers only at events.
Yeah.
Especially like, those makeup events or lifestyle events to which I'm not really invited a lot. But I do know there is a group that's extremely welcoming and then there is a high-end group that's not. And somewhere you have to just make your place.
Yeah.
If you're 100K above, people sort of respect you. But if
Yeah.
you're below that, I have seen that someone below 100K, people are like, oh, whatever.
Well, I'll tell you something. I reached out to someone that I knew personally. Okay, we were friends before she blew up on Instagram.
Okay.
And then she blew up, she became huge. And I reached out to her when I was still on like 70K maybe.
Cute.
And I said, do you want to come on the podcast? Do you know what she said to me?
She said, pay me?
No.
Oh.
Worse.
Oh, acha.
She said, your account is very small. That would be charity work for me.
Oh.
Imagine. Imagine. And you
There
know
are many people in this room for me to pass a reaction.
right?
Wow.
But whatever.
What did you say?
I didn't reply and I left it because otherwise I would have,
Yeah.
probably
It's already hard.
punched her in the face.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Like, ये ले, 70K ka punch.
But it's okay. Now my profile is bigger than hers.
Now you know how 70K is strong.
Yeah. And
Yeah, bless
it's
you.
okay. Things happens, right? But
Yeah.
that's the thing. When you are growing, it can be quite disheartening when
Yeah.
other people behave like that to you. Which is why I always try to like be nice to everyone who's still growing, because you never know. This person can outgrow you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. But that's actually pretty much life as well.
Right.
Today you lose everything. And tomorrow the person maybe you're looking down at is bigger than you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God,
And you might need their help.
why was I so mean, But I also know about some people in this industry who are literally just nice to your face because you have a sort of... I know a lot of people like that. I don't call them out on their face or I don't talk about it a lot, but I know a lot of people want to be friends with you only because you have a little bit of following.
Of course. A lot of people are like that. Even now, for me, I get it more and more where people pretend to be friends with me because they want to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would rather you tell me honestly, listen, I want to come on the podcast.
And you would appreciate it.
Yeah, no need to schmooze me and try to pretend you're my best friend.
She knew.
Yeah. Oh my God, the whole like, babe. And you're just like, okay.
I just got you flowers.
She schmoozed me for sure.
It's your birthday.
But one thing I want to say as well is I've met some mean girls in the community. And I've made best friends as well in the community. Yeah. Especially some of the guests that have come on the podcast have become like some of my closest friends ever. But I've also met some mean girls where, you know, someone said to me on the podcast, she was a guest on my podcast. She was like, is that your hair? Is that a wig? I was like, where does this look like a wig?
What on earth?
How does this look like a wig? And I was like, okay, no.
Tell me after the podcast who this person is.
Yeah, and I was like,
I have a guess.
You probably know who it is. And I was like, no, that's my real hair. And she was like, oh, okay, it looks nice. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I can't say more because people will know who it is. But it's just, I don't understand this meanness. And then to me, she was like, oh, thank you so much. This podcast was incredible. And then she went behind my back, said to other people who then it came back to me being like, oh, I didn't like it. She did not portray me in the way that she should have. And I was like, I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Yeah, say whatever you want to say.
Whatever is on the podcast is what you chose to let out of your mouth.
It's not like I gave you a script. Yeah. This is what you have to say about yourself.
I can't edit it and add words
whatever
to you, right? So... And I know it's also sometimes it's annoying, it's frustrating because as you said, there are like these little cliques, right?
Yeah.
Where people who are agencies or brands and stuff, they only give it to the people they like. It's not based on merit.
Oh, yes. 100%.
So
100%. But I do know some agencies, they love you because your work is great.
Yeah.
I work with one who's literally, thank God, I love them and they love me. And they told me that, you know, we sign you up because we love your job. And, you know, that's a favoritism that you want.
That's nice. Yeah. No, but that's based on your merit that they chose you.
Yeah, but I do know a lot of people get work because they're like, oh, I'm friends with this person. And then they're friends with this person. And I, myself, I think 3 months ago, tried to get into a little industry. I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
But I was not able to because I don't have the right contacts. I said, okay, fine. Like maybe I work on it.
Later.
Yeah,
it's later. Okay. Not the right time.
Yeah.
But one thing I will tell you is that even if it takes longer for you to get somewhere because you don't have the right contacts or you don't know the right people, it just takes us a little longer. Yes. But you get there. Yeah, you get there.
You do, yes. But there are actually some of the people are super duper nice. Some people really want to help you without like anything in return.
Yes. And I've met big creators who are so nice and they will help you. Like even Mona Katan, she comments on my reels.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have to. Like she's so huge, but she's so encouraging.
Yeah.
And I was like, see these people.
But also your content is amazing, to be very honest. No, really.
So sweet.
And you know, you're so eloquent. Like, again, you're the whole plastic surgery video. I love the way you spoke. And I was like, wow.
So I was so scared about that reel.
No, it's a brilliant
So my friend gave me the idea. She was like, you know, you should talk about plastic surgery because I think, so the thing is she herself has done something. Okay. And then she was like, but I'm doing it because I thought that it's okay. But I know that maybe Islamically it's not okay, but maybe you should talk about it. So then I scripted it. And then I showed it to her and she was like, now I'm scared that you're going to get a lot of hate because in the UAE, especially in Dubai, a lot of people do plastic surgery, right?
For
a lot
nothing.
of them. Yeah, fillers, nose, cheeks, Botox, a lot of people do it. She was like, what if tomorrow you want to work with a brand or a guest and they are like, oh, but she said this about me back in the day. So then when I filmed it as well, I filmed it and the Neetu, who's also from Podster, she was behind the camera and I was like, Neetu, do you think this is too controversial? She was like, let's hear it. So then I filmed it and then she was like, okay, I see why it could be. So she gave me the best advice. She was like, why don't you soften it by saying, tell me what you think.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like I'm telling you this is where it is. Yes, it's open-ended. And telling people that this is what I understand. Do you agree? What do you, like, maybe let's have a conversation about this. And then it was received nicely.
Yeah. And I also loved how one of the lines in I think the starting hook was, Islam is not as black and white as you think it is, which I think is also like a new idea to a lot of people, because people think either it's a yes or a no in Islam.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was very nice.
You know, even yesterday I had a chat with my friend who's not Muslim. And she was telling me how, I don't even remember how the conversation started, but then she was like, oh yeah, but you know, Islam doesn't have a lot of grace. Meaning that Islam is not forgiving. Right? And she's like, you know, it's always like, if you don't do this, you're a bad Muslim. If you don't do this, you're a bad Muslim.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's the westernized view of Islam, right? Because we think that everything you do, you can just ask for forgiveness and Allah forgives you.
Yes.
And we have all these stories of people who have sinned their whole lives, but then they've done one good action and Allah forgave everything.
Yes.
So it's always like, it makes me so sad that this is what people view Islam as, because for me, Islam is so beautiful. It's a way of life, and it makes my life so much easier, you know, and it keeps me a good person.
100%. Believe me, it's actually true. Yeah.
I'm like, the number of times I would have punched someone in the throat,
Islam
and I don't do it because I'm Muslim. You know, we're anti-violence. Islam stopped.
I'm a Muslim.
Yeah, I'm like, fine.
Oh, that's me in Ramadan, actually.
See?
Yeah, I'm fasting.
Yeah.
I'm fasting.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
Literally.
Yeah.
But I also think that, it's okay, you know, Allah will take care of it.
Yeah. If someone really wrongs you, believe me, even if you don't like say it, you know, it's going to be taken care of.
Of course. So that's why and the thing is, people don't think I am very Muslim because I don't cover my hair. And, you know, I get a lot of these comments about the hijab.
Just yesterday. They don't care that you threw out like this chunk of information that is so valuable. They're like, hang on, where's your hijab?
It's always about disproving you, right?
Yeah.
They want to discredit you as a person, because I'm like, what is the problem?
But I think it's also a reflection of them. I used to think that this was like a heavy sentence. I never understood it, but until like a couple of years ago. A lot of people tell me, don't want to be like sounding like a humble girl, but a lot of people tell me that you only see, like you don't see the bad in people. You're only seeing the good things, which is amazing because I've trained my mind to only see good in every situation. It's just not people. I like to say my affirmations in the morning. I like to say my affirmations in the night. Okay, this, okay, that. I do a lot of mental work that way, which is why now my brain is sort of like, why are we thinking negative? Or why do I have to say something bad? Okay, let me try and say something good, you know, for example. But I know that there is a huge chunk of population that does not do that. And people are just frustrated with their lives and with everything that's going on. And that fills them with a lot of, I don't know, like
resentment.
Hatred, resentment, yes. And that is what they throw outside.
Of course.
That is literally what they throw outside. Because anything that goes wrong in the world, people literally take their phones and try and type this hate to a social media influencer. No one else gets the hate but a social media influencer or a content creator or a celebrity.
Oh, yeah. But you know, when something happens, either you're not saying anything so they're annoyed about it, or you say something and they're annoyed about how you're saying it, right? You're like, that's not how you should be saying it. So there's no winning.
Yeah, there's no winning. You cannot win with them.
There's no winning.
Yeah, no.
You can't please everyone. And anyway, if you're pleasing everyone, it means you're doing something wrong, because that means you don't stand for anything.
Pick me.
Yeah, literally pick me energy.
People pleasing. Yeah. So either way you live your lives, there are going to be some amount of people who won't be happy.
Yeah.
So it's fine. You would rather be yourself.
Exactly. And I always say this because, you know, a lot of people don't do social media because they're scared of these hate comments.
Yeah.
Right? And I understand, even when I started, it takes a toll on you sometimes, especially when it's personal, right? They come at you.
Yeah. You consume that energy subconsciously.
Yeah. And
you're reading the comments.
You know, you can read 1,000 great comments and then one negative one, and that's the one you remember. That's
your
the one
down.
You're like, oh, I can't believe they said that. And it just stays with you. But now over time, I've learned that I don't read it. I just don't read.
Really?
No, so for the first maybe hour, I read the comments. And then after that, I'm like, khalas, I'm done. Because now I know after that is when the negativity comes.
The garbage is going to come.
The negative, because, you know, it then gets more views, right? And the more views you get, the more haters come.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, that's it, khalas, enough. If someone tags me, I'll read it. But if not, I'm like...
I'm not going to.
I'm not going to engage, because it is too much. And sometimes, and then the DM you. The DM is the worst because they think they're being better. They're like, I'm not shaming you in public.
Yeah.
I'm telling you in private that you should cover your hair. Yeah. And especially that comment really pissed me off because she was like, I hope you're not doing this for likes. But anyway, Allah knows best. And I was like,
if Allah knows best, so why are you messaging me?
why are you here? Okay. And I also, the thing that pisses me off is that if I was doing it for likes, there are other things I could do that would get me a lot more views than talking about Islam. Yeah?
I have 3 professions ready already.
Same. There are many other things I could be doing that would get me a lot more likes than this. This is coming from a good place. I mean, I don't need to prove it to anybody.
Exactly.
But
it's kind of sad that you put in a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And there are like some people who've seen it and you've sort of reached your goal, like you've reached the right audience, and then suddenly it's just like, why are you not doing this?
Yeah.
Where's your hijab? Where's your this? It sort of like loses the purpose of what you just did.
It
so
really
I know
does.
the frustration.
It really does. And it's always the men, by the way.
Also the women sometimes. Can I tell you?
Tell me.
Something that anything that goes wrong in the world, anything. There's one tip that I've gotten from an influencer. She didn't give it to me, but I observed it. Something went wrong, okay? Anything. Because she knows that she's going to be subject to a lot of hate because she doesn't want to deal with toxicity. Some people are just like that. People take time to process information. They just don't want to comment something right away. But when you have an audience as big as 500K, for example, everybody wants to come and ask you your stance. They don't want to say anything. And it's their personal life. This page does not mean that they now have to participate in everything that's going on in the world. For example, just saying. So what she did, for 5 days, something was happening. She deactivated her account. Everybody was busy fighting with each other. Or like other creators are backfiring them, audience is here, everything was going on. She was not there. She didn't want to deal with that information. She didn't want to deal with the people. Yeah. She didn't have the energy to tell someone why she doesn't think a certain way or why she thinks a certain way. And when everything got over, she comes back and she's like, hi guys. And nobody even noticed that she was not there.
Right. But at least her mental health is protected, right?
She was fine.
Her boundaries are there.
She was fine. I sort of engaged in it and I was like, oh my God. For 4 days, I was just down. I was like, what? Why did somebody come and say that to me? It's not my fault, for example.
Yeah, I know. It's always, especially when big things happen and you're not even involved. And sometimes you think, I don't know a lot about this situation. Why am I adding noise? Let other people who know about the situation talk.
Or sometimes maybe adding noise is not even required. Noise is already created. Now, all you're going to do is either you take an action if you can, or you probably pray.
Exactly. Pray. Exactly.
But people really underestimate prayer. They're like, okay, fine, you prayed, but where's your social media post?
Yeah. And also, that's the thing I always get pushed about posting. And I'm like, people who follow me, my friends and I, we all have the same thoughts.
Yes.
So when I'm posting, I'm not helping anything. We all agree.
Yeah. You post something, you're like, hi,
they're like, who is this helping? This is not helping anyone.
You're just like, sort of like making those 2-3 people happy in your list who were like, oh, why didn't Sheen post about this?
Yeah, now she's posted. Okay.
What is this? Kya hai ye?
I know. It's a lot, right? And I think people really underestimate how much of our mental health is there when we're posting.
They think that, we live a very comfortable luxury life and everything is handed to us, but it's not. A lot of people think that about my page, by the way.
Yeah?
They're like, oh, wo aaram se, chal raha hai. It's not chal raha hai. There's a lot of work that goes into those like 15 or 16 seconds of video, just thinking what to do today, which character to pick, what do we say, what do we write.
Even the filming, it takes the editing, and it's a whole lot of work.
Yeah.
People really underestimate how much work goes into it. And you might think that it is easy.
Yeah.
It might not be as hard as other job, but it is still what you spend your time on.
And sometimes it's also not about something being shot on a professional camera or being in a studio or something. Sometimes you're just inside your house.
Yeah.
But the idea that you come up with, you're like, oh my God, I need this person, I need that person. Oh, we have to do this, we have to do that. It's a lot of work. But people are just like, okay, this is an influencer. They have an easy life.
They do. Have an easy life.
I mean, I do, but sometimes it also gets bad.
Right. And definitely you reach a stage where it becomes really easy.
And sometimes you're just angry and, you're just like, yeah. But then you can't even say anything.
Oh, it's okay. I feel like it like anything else.
I love us. We spoke about the whole word and we're like, hi, Art, he gets okay.
It's okay.
Sanuki. We literally said everything.
You're like, it's so bad. But anyway.
You're like, I want to punch. And we're like, chal yaar,
yeah, it's okay. Move on. Move on. But
spending an hour talking about
it's okay. But we're also blessed and we're grateful for everything we're blessed. honestly, we went on a tangent, but I do want to go back to what you said, how a lot of people say you see the good in others mostly rather than the negative. And I think this is such a good way of life because we get so sucked into the negatives and just pointing out what's going wrong with everyone.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where I heard this from, but it said if Islam is something that you use as a weapon to check what others are doing wrong, then you're carrying Islam as a burden in your life rather than it being the wings that frees you.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right? Because when you think about it, if you keep thinking, oh, what is she doing? Oh, she's not covering her hair.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't pray 5 times a day. But who are you? Allah did not appoint you as a minister to go check what is
100%.
everyone doing.
And they also say, I think just to add into what you said is beautiful. But just to add it also, when you, instead of checking other people's sin, why don't you check yours? And when you have a check at yourself, you're going to be like, oh my God, there's so much work to do. You'll have no time looking at what others are doing, you know? Just look at yourself.
That's the thing. And
this is literally everything.
We're all human. We all make mistakes and that's normal. That's what God said for us. But
Exactly.
so focused on others.
But some people are actually taking time to work on themselves, whereas others are like, oh, let me see now what she did wrong.
I know. But so I was telling you before we started how there's so many things we need to talk about, right? So we've touched on the creator career.
Yeah.
We've touched on the
Islamic way of life.
Islamic way of life. Correct. So now what I want us to talk about is, obviously we're both, she's already
I
scared.
just looked at the camera.
She's scared. Now what we're going to talk about is how we're both, desi girls in our 30s, living in the UAE, being online, and single. How often do you get asked, when are you getting married?
I think we need a moment of silence for our singlehood. Yeah, no.
How often do you get asked?
Not a lot.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people think I'm just making this up, but it's not a lot because I don't put myself out there. Via Instagram, see, it's all like, there are a lot of messages.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to respond to that
Of
for
course.
sure. Because I don't know which one to respond, which one is a real person, which one is a fake person. So Instagram is out of question. In real life, I don't think I go out as much. I do go out, but I'm a very family-oriented person.
Yeah.
I would love to take my nieces out. I love taking my nephew out. I love taking my parents out. I love, like, anytime I have a free time, I just like, okay, let's just take everybody out, you know? So I'm a very family-oriented person. I don't really go out a lot. I think going out is a very important part where you, like, meet other people and, like, you make a new connection. But I have the same people in my life. I don't get asked a lot. I do end up liking a lot of people, but it doesn't go the right way.
Not the honesty.
It just go. Yeah, it doesn't go the right way. Yeah.
But wait, did you expect to still be single in your 30s?
No.
Right? That wasn't the plan. Neither was mine.
What happened to you?
Well,
now Sheen like, what? I'm not the guest.
Okay,
no, this is a
auntie.
conversation. This is a conversation.
no, I think in my early 20s, I was so focused on doing
Your
something
thing.
for myself, right? Building a name for myself. I was in education for so long. So all of that happened. And then overnight, you realize that, oh, you know what? Now all my friends are getting married. All my friends are having babies. Maybe
You're like FOMO.
Yeah, you're like, maybe it's time for me to do that as well. And then when you start looking, you realize that there's a lot of trash out there.
Yeah.
Right? And it's very difficult. So I'll tell you my challenge with it. And then you tell me your challenge with it, given that you asked me. I think it's really hard to find a practicing Muslim man, right? Who is also kind of like similar to us in terms of like intellectual level, similar to us in terms of earning capacity, similar to us in terms of values in life. It's really hard. So I've struggled. I either find someone who's exactly like me, but is not a practicing Muslim or doesn't believe in God anymore.
Yeah.
Or you find someone who is practicing and everything, but then they don't like your lifestyle. So then it's a bit like,
No, I love the practicing Muslim part, but I feel like, I think, how do I say it very nicely and not bring a lot of hate?
Don't say it nicely.
The thing is, I feel like people have just switched their roles. Women are acting like men are acting like women. I feel a lot of I'm sure there are great men out there, the ones who understand the concept of, I don't want to say provider mindset because it's been repeated a lot of times, but just the fact that to able to be loyal to one woman, to love one woman, to take care of a woman, I think a lot of men have lost the plot there. Maybe also a lot of females have, I don't know, but I'm just talking about myself.
Yeah.
This is what I am really looking for, and I have not kind of found it. Or even if I think I have found it, something else comes up. But there are challenges. There are some challenges that you're okay to deal with, but then there's a complete no-no. For instance, one not being a practicing Muslim, or for not even believing in the idea of God, of,
or
also
being
lack
married,
of moral values.
or being married.
Yeah. Or some great people already married.
Yeah.
And also lack of moral values. A lot of people, or lack of family attachment. Like some people are really going out there in the world without respecting their parents. And I think that is the biggest red flag for me. When I look at someone, even when I'm making a friend, when I see that this person is like deliberately, sometimes family conditions are difficult for people. So I'm not going to judge that part. But some people I see like deliberately saying, oh, I don't like my mom. I don't like my dad. And I'm just like, oh God. And I'm someone who loves mom and dad.
Same.
Yeah. I cannot gel with such people who say I don't love my mom or dad. It's very hard for my mind. I think before I used to be okay with it, but now I don't let that kind of energy. I don't like it. I'm not gonna be okay listening to someone come and say something bad about their mom.
I know, but I think it also reflects, right? For example, us, we've had very loving parents. We love our parents now growing up. And it doesn't mean it's easy, right, with your parents.
Our parents sometimes do say harsh things to us, but it doesn't mean that we're going to now hate our parents.
Of course, parents are parents at the end of the day. And I think it does really impact your way of life, how you see your future family, your dedication to that family, all comes from with the relationship you have with your current family.
Yeah.
But yeah, isn't it interesting? So every time I have a guest, we have this conversation about how there are definitely great men out there, but where are they? Like, it's like there is a little mismatch. And I think it's because, as you said, like a lot of women are now independent, right? We're making our own money.
Yeah.
So we don't need a man just because, we need someone to pay the bills.
Yeah. We pay our own bills.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're looking for someone because you want companionship. You want someone to share your life with, which I think is so much more beautiful than come fulfill a need, which is financial. But I think men haven't evolved from that, of like being needed in that sense of like, I need to be the provider.
I need to be the provider. And I think time has also played its cruel role because, see, I watch a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
And I'm a podcast guest. But I've actually also learned that the more a woman tries to be like, I'm going to take care of everything, a man is like, okay, then what am I here for? You know? So it's also, I think it's both the parties' fault.
Of course.
Which I told you, like people have swapped their roles. Women are, okay, now there's also another part that if a woman is making her money, if she sees someone who has a provider mindset or someone who's like we call alpha male, she's going to submit to him eventually. She's going to be like, okay, I might be great, but here's someone who's actually showing an interest in taking care of me. So she is going to submit eventually. But the thing is, for the longest time now, women are like, we can do everything. Don't open the door for me. Don't pull the chair for me. How dumb of these women. Right. I swear, I would love it if someone pulls the door for me. I'm looking out for these things. And before, I think maybe I was also one of those women where I'd be like, मैं खुद ही सब कुछ कर लूँगी. But now I'm like, मैं क्यों करूँ? Because for the longest time, now not my dad, because my dad has a sort of back pain. But for the longest time, my dad used to open the door for my mom. And I'm so sad that I never picked it up. I was just influenced from like what other people are doing. So I was like, oh, मैं खुद कर लूँगी. But now I'm like, मैं क्यों करूँ?
Exactly.
Why should I do it?
I agree.
Because at the end of the day, I also love this song, I'm Just a Girl.
Yeah.
So I love it, and I love the whole femininity and like all that energy that comes. Did I say it right? Femininity?
Femininity, yeah.
Femininity.
Yeah. Yes. You got it.
I was like, point to bahut acha hai, but I think I messed it.
No, it's good.
So I love that energy. Like, I love it. I love that I'm making my own money and I'm doing all these things. But I would love to be with someone who knows that she's doing it, but is ready to take care of these things.
I know, but see, again, the same conversation is what I'm having with everyone. I'm the same as well, right? I'm like, yes, I'm making my money, but I would love for someone to be the provider. I don't want to be the provider.
Yeah.
I can work less.
Yes.
I'm happy to like...
But you work for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. You shouldn't be like the sole person. Or maybe you could help as well.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's like also I'm happy to contribute if you're building towards something. And then you get to a place where I don't need to be contributing anymore.
Yeah.
But I want it to be a conversation where I don't need to work. But I also can work if I want to.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of like
you need to have that sort of freedom.
Yeah, it's just flexibility. And at the end of the day, it's a partnership. Yeah. You're looking for a partner. And
men now just think that you are the CEO and they are like...
Yeah. And they're intimidated by it.
Partner, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also, you know, I feel like our generation especially, growing up, we were fed this lie of like women can have it all. You know, you can have your career, you can have a husband and everything. And I think a lot of us, rightfully so, use our 20s to build ourselves. And now in our 30s, we're like, oh, wait, where's the husband? And even our parents are like, where's the husband? Even though they kept telling you, don't speak to boys. Now they're like, when is the shadi? When is the shadi? Why can't you find a husband?
You've become an auntie yourself.
Yeah.
You're asking yourself, shadi kab?
Yeah,
You're in the mirror.
You're like, why are you not speaking to boys?
Yeah, because there are no worthy boys. Like, well, some people are just looking for like a temporary connection. And maybe there is plenty for that kind of...
Of course.
That kind of connection. There are plenty of boys. But for the kind we're looking, I know there is scarcity. We're really running out of them. But I'm sure there's somewhere. I'll tell you what my brother says all the time.
Oh, tell me.
Every time I like a boy and things don't go great, I do like a lot of people. This is true, by the way, about me.
I'm glad you move on quickly.
But I also... I like a lot of people because like I see when you see someone you definitely see like how they look or how they behave. You cannot know someone's history in like first 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So first 2 and 3 weeks I really like someone till things like start going here and there and I'm just like okay fine like you know whatever. Okay, maybe I'll just like talk to someone else. But I don't do that very frequently as well. So one day I remember from this whole activity I was very frustrated. So I went to my brother and I told him, what is happening? Like, you know, why are things not going right for me or like whatever? He said something to me. This is, by the way, I mean, I think a lot of people already know, but a lot of people don't know. My brother is married to a British woman.
Okay.
Yeah, my oldest brother. He's married to a pure British woman. And he told me that how it never worked out with anyone else before he was introduced to my sister-in-law. He said, you know, I used to try a lot. I used to like girls here and there, but it just never felt right for me till he met his wife. And he was like, things just... You know, a Pakistani marrying a British person, especially when we're like spiritual and everything, and it's difficult. But things fell in the right boxes for him at the right time and things were so easy for him. So he said, anytime you feel stuck with a whole relationship thing, why you're not getting a boy or why a boy is not behaving or why things are not going well, always remember that relationships, it's literally Allah's job. Allah is going to sometimes send someone and things are going to happen so quickly and so smoothly that you're going to be like, oh, this is why I didn't work out with anyone else, for example.
No, but that's the best mindset.
Yeah, he said that way. He said, you need to learn from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of people I've spoken to as well say the same thing. They say, when is the right one is so easy. You don't need to like bang your head against a wall.
You
trying
don't have
to force
go
it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a lot of things.
Yeah, you don't have to guess, is this someone who likes me? What is the situation here?
Anytime you have to guess if someone likes you, they don't.
That's your answer. Yeah.
I learned it overnight. I wish I could tell people what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there, right? We all think, oh, no, I think he does, but I'm not sure. And then what is the answer?
Friends, do you think he likes me? Yeah. And you're like, no.
No, I don't think so. I feel the fact that you have to ask that question means he doesn't.
He doesn't.
And that's clear as day.
But it's also true that if a man likes you, he's going to do things for you.
Yes.
You like it or not, you make an effort or not, he's going to be like, okay, I like you, so I'm going to set a whole scene.
Yeah.
But when a woman like make a lot of efforts, it doesn't go anywhere. That also is a very hard.
But if the woman is making a lot of effort, it's because the man is not. And that's your answer. Right.
But then I also feel like a woman's love, is it weak?
What do you mean?
For example, so my mom says something like this.
Tell us.
Yeah. Did I make like a very big statement?
No. I want to learn. Say it.
What have you said?
Yeah, go for it.
So my mom and like, you know, people from my mom's age, I think they have this really common thing that means that if a woman loves a man, the relationship doesn't go to a long term.
If she loves him more than he loves her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if a man loves you, you got to get married to that man. So I just sometimes think, is a woman's love not worth it? Is it weak? Why can a man not respect the love? Or why can't a relationship be strong enough if a woman has started things or initiated things? Because I've been there once. There's this guy.
How was it?
There was this guy I thought I liked, and I was doing everything because I was just showing like my massive amount of love, but it didn't go anywhere. So why? Like, is our love weak?
I don't think our love is weak. I do think, they say that for men, there's the red light. Have you heard about the red light theory about men?
No.
So they can be with the best woman for them for a very long time. Let's say like 10 years or something. They're together with this woman, but they won't marry this woman until the red light in their head turns to green and they think, I should get married now. And it might never happen with this woman. They break it off. And the next day they meet someone else. And now they're thinking, I want to get married. They'll marry that woman within 3 months.
Yeah.
And it's because when a man is looking for a wife, it's completely different. Immediately they will marry that person that they want to marry. But if you might be around, you might be doing the most for him. But if he does not want to marry you, it will never change because you love him. You know?
But then let's just switch it back.
Yeah.
If a man is doing all the efforts, a woman is stubborn. Sometimes women are like, oh no, I don't want to get married to him. Like whatever. But eventually we give in.
Yeah.
But a man wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't. But that's also because of...
Psychologically, we're different.
It's what we look for in a partner, right? So what do women look for? They look for a protector. They look for a provider. They look for a father. And all of these things... If someone is showing you love, care, and attention, you think they tick these boxes, so you'll take it. But what does a man look for? They look for someone that they find attractive. They look for someone who they think,
True.
This is my wife. And apparently every time a man meets a woman, they immediately put them in the 2 box.
Yeah.
Is this marriage material?
This is girlfriend material and this is wife material.
Yeah, exactly.
But there are women who are actually both material, yet a man is like,
Yeah, because now with the accessibility of dating apps, people are not investing in relationships anymore. They're like, it's discardable if I find a new one tomorrow.
Yeah. There are a lot of options. And people are moving on real quick.
Yeah, because they think it's so easy for me to find someone else. Now there's this thought of like, could I do better? Yeah. Probably I could.
There's always room for improvement.
There's always room, especially if a man has money. They're like, well, I can get anyone I want.
I can get anyone.
Why would I settle down now? Yeah. I know someone who, this man is 54, has a girlfriend of 18 years, has 3 kids with her, but still doesn't marry her.
Is this a celebrity couple?
No.
It's someone you know?
Yeah, it's someone I know. But obviously, it's like, fine, their culture doesn't require them to get married, but why would you not marry this woman?
What else is now remaining for you to discover? Like,
literally, why would you not marry this woman? But again, it's because they don't want that. For some reason, they are living as husband and wives, right? You're fulfilling all the roles, all the duties.
Yeah. So now he's like, why do I have to?
For some reason, there's so much, I think they associate a lot of lack of freedom with marriage.
Yeah.
So they just don't want to commit. So there's a lot of that. So we've talked about all the depressing parts.
Yeah. I'm now suddenly sad.
Now you're sad. Well, if anyone wants to marry Sidra, let us know.
Or Sheen.
Or Sheen.
No.
But I think it's interesting because I feel like we've all loved at one point. Yeah. Right? And
somehow, for you, you and I were very also similar.
Yeah.
And the experiences we have had are also similar.
Very similar.
How the hell is that possible?
Very similar, isn't it?
Yeah, remember I told you a story and then you told me a story and I was like, what is this copy-paste story?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not just us, right? I think
a lot of people like that.
A lot of women who are single today have had the same story. And maybe we're all making the same mistakes. We're choosing...
I think we all need to now really change our perspective as well.
And also the way you approach it, right? What kind of men are you attracting? What kind of men are you looking for?
I think a lot of times people say that you don't have to be a friendly girl, you have to be a mean girl.
Yeah,
men like mean girls.
Black cat energy.
Yes. Now I'm going to be mean. There's only one man here.
You laugh too much to be a mean girl.
This is a problem. I lose my black cat energy plot in between.
in between. Imagine for me, I went for a photo shoot. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to do a relaunch of the podcast. The photographer was like, okay, you need to not smile. She was like, can you look like, like a bad bee, you know, like a boss.
Oh.
And it wouldn't come. I look constipated. And I was like, she was like, okay, you know what? It's not going to happen. She was like, your face is too cute. Let's just, it's like my expressions are too cute. And I was like, I don't know how to be like,
yeah, no.
I can't.
No, some girls have it.
Yeah, some girls have
I've tried it once or twice, but it doesn't. If people actually, why are you angry? I said, I'm not angry. I'm just trying to be like, hard to get.
Yeah, but we you know what? We can't do it.
We can't.
Because
I have this really bad habit. I've developed it like from last year. Anytime anyone says something nice, boy or a girl, I do this. Which is why nobody's taking me seriously. They're like, oh, Sidra, whatever. Like some boy like in my gym would have said something. I was like, and already my face is like that. Imagine this is an add-on.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cute. I say cute a lot. I say cute. Yeah. I was like,
But that's not just you though. I think a lot
my 2 fingers is the problem.
It's because women really struggle with taking compliments as well.
Yeah. No,
I think we do. We struggle with because
I think it's mostly those women who also have it's unfortunate, but a little bit of a low self-esteem. You and I don't have that.
But you still struggle with compliments.
I do?
Yeah.
No, this is me accepting the compliment.
No, but you compliment yourself a lot.
Yeah, that is true. How do you know?
That's a different problem. I think the whole world knows. On Instagram, you're like, how am I this? No, and you're like, how do I look this good? You remind me of the Pooh character from Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, where she's like, how dare you look so good? That's literally what you do on Instagram.
The other day, I made Maggi noodles, which were very good, right? Just somehow, it was okay. I wouldn't say it was the best. I put it up. I could have just put it up like, Maggi. I put up this caption. I'm like, कभी-कभी मैं सोचती हूँ हर काम मैं ही इतनी अच्छी तरह कैसे कर सकती हूँ? And my bhabhi is like, you didn't have to say that. This is why you don't get compliments.
So does your head fit into the doors of your house? Does it?
It does.
Yeah?
So far, yes.
Okay, it does.
I'll move to a bigger. Listen, I don't get a lot of compliments from people I want to get compliments, so I have to.
So you have to compensate, right?
I have to.
I agree.
You buy your own flowers.
But you know what they say? They say, so this is the rule I live by. They say that, guys, this is a joke, by the way. I feel like I'm going to get cancelled if people actually believe this. It's because the most beautiful women don't get compliments.
That is true.
Because people are too shy to give you compliments. So that's why we don't get compliments.
They're like, yaar, isko to roz milte honge.
Yeah. Or
what else? What do I say differently?
Exactly. Or they're like, but I don't want to tell her, because she gets it.
I think we both are in that boat. Where people are like, yaar, inko kya bole? They already have this following of people who must be...
She's serious. I'm joking.
No, I am. It's also same for you. It's same for you 100%. Like you don't get that many compliments because people are just like, the right people are like, on your video, there are easily 5,000 comments or on like every third video. So someone is like, where do I put my comment? Is she even going to see it?
Yeah.
So then unko dhoondne se acha hai we say it ourselves.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know where this conversation was going.
This conversation all the way from singlehood to now.
That's narcissism. To be like, we are too good.
This is why we are single, because
we're too good.
We're too good.
We both have another thing in common. We love Bollywood.
Yes.
Love Bollywood, right? But what do you think of today's Bollywood?
It's great to make content about. For me, yes.
Yeah.
But no, I think sort of they have lost the plot.
Right.
There's like 1 in 20 movies that would be a good watch.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last Bollywood movie that was great. Do you remember? Which was the last movie that you watched?
I mean, I watched pretty much all of them that come out.
Really?
No, not all of them. That's not true. I think this year I haven't watched any of the new ones except for the show on Netflix, Royals.
Yeah.
But that was so bad.
But even the Indian content, but I do feel Amazon Prime, OTT...
It's better.
It's better. For example, what did I see over there? Mirzapur was great.
Okay, I haven't watched that.
Mirzapur is something that you need to watch.
Okay.
The Royals, I don't know. I think it's okay.
I feel like the Royals had so much potential. I was excited about it.
I think they should have changed a little bit of their cast. I thought Nora Fatehi was amazing, but Bhumi, she's a great actress, but maybe they could have changed her. They could have put Tara Sutaria in her role.
Oh.
Beautiful.
We needed a different energy for that role, 100%. I think the guy did really well.
The guy was amazing.
Despite the script itself wasn't that good, the storyline was not that great. I feel like, the older brother, they could have given him a better storyline.
He was the older brother.
The other brother then.
Yeah,
the chef.
The recipe guy. Yeah.
And the sister as well, they kind of like rushed her story. I feel like...
the sister was just like, poor thing. She
was
just
there for nothing.
Yeah, she was just there.
And I feel like they could have done a bit more justice to the storyline. But that's why I'm like, it's already high production. It's such a good story. It could have been better.
It could have been better.
But
they had great songs. I feel that the guy, Ishan, his casting was on point.
Yeah.
I feel they really put Zeenat Aman, the grandmother.
Yeah.
I think she was there for a little time, but every time she opened her mouth, there was something really wise coming out.
Again,
of it.
she could have gotten a bit more of a role.
Bit more.
Right? Yeah. So
I thought Nora was there for 2 episodes, but she was great. She was looking amazing.
But I do think they don't go well together.
Do you think?
Yeah.
But I thought when her entry was a dance.
Her entry was great.
That dance, I thought it built a lot of chemistry between. Yes, I liked her after that. Although like Nora, I literally feel she's just like a dancing material. But I think she did well.
No, she had a role that fit her there for sure.
Like a small role, and I think she carried it,
No, but you're right. There's no Bollywood movie that I can remember that was good.
That was good.
Right?
Actually, I'm also the wrong person to talk about it because I'm a major... sometimes I go to the movies just to see one person. I'm a major Tiger Shroff fan.
Yeah, we know. Like, his movies are not good.
I cannot say. But I think also this is not coming as a true fan, but I'll tell you something. His directors are not exploring his strengths as much as they should because he has been great in this movie called War, where he was opposite Hrithik Roshan.
I've watched that movie.
He was amazing. Nobody can tell me otherwise. He was amazing and he was really, really great in Baghi 1.
I haven't watched that.
Baghi 1 was great.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think a director really needs to explore because he's a heavy action hero and he does that great. But for this acting bit, I mean, in War they could get the great acting out of him. So why not other movies? So I don't think it's his fault. It's just bad scripts.
I mean, she's just going to fight that. But, okay.
Please don't delete this. I'll take a bit of it and send it.
Just tag him, being like, see, I've been talking about you.
Yeah, whichever podcast I go to.
Have you met him?
Yes.
You have met him, right?
I met him 2 times.
Okay, nice.
Gorgeous man.
Okay. I mean, yeah, he's definitely attractive.
No, he's attractive and at the same time, he's a very gentle.
He's sweet.
He's sweet. He's gentle. He's nothing like how, an action hero who should
angry and moody. Yeah.
He's not angry. He's not moody. He's very sweet. There's a meetup once that was I said, okay, let's meet. He was here and he said, all right. And I couldn't come at that time. And he gave me another date. He said, it's okay. You can come tomorrow.
Wait, you reached out to him?
I reached out to him.
Personally?
Personally, yes. We speak on DMs.
No way.
I
He replied and told you to come meet him?
No. So I have been actually posting about him since forever. It's been, I think, from 2020. I have been talking about him. 2020, he followed me during COVID. Because I think nobody was doing anything. So people were glued to their Instagram, like, what's going on? So he followed me back. And it was really, really kind of him. The first time, he told me that I'm in your city. That was really sweet of him. Because I think he knows I'm his loyal fan.
Yeah.
And he was here for one of the movie shoots.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, see, this is how you know that he's
nice.
He's nice. He's a nice person.
He is very down to earth then.
He's very down to earth.
Yeah.
He's super, when you meet him, I'm not sure if people like his movies, but people love him as a person. They're like, oh, he's amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the kind of guy we're looking for. Me and Sheen both.
Yeah, okay.
Sheen
I don't know about Tiger Shroff, but sure. But, for me, I'm the biggest fan of Fawad Khan. And I finally met him. I finally met him.
Yeah.
When he came for the promotion.
Yes, what is that movie? Abir Gulal?
Something like that.
Yeah. You met Fawad and you didn't know the movie.
But I'm not excited about the movie.
Yeah,
he was nice. But now we need to meet Shah Rukh Khan somehow. Make it happen.
So many people have met Shah Rukh Khan in Dubai. Why are you not meeting?
We haven't yet. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, Shah Rukh Khan's also something.
Yeah. Back in the day, though. His new movies are not good.
No. I feel bad for Salman Khan. He has 15 bad movies in a row. I watched Salman Khan's movie in which there was, what is that movie? What is that movie?
Describe it.
Where he was doing that lunge.
I haven't watched any of his new movies. Is it the Sikandar movie that just came out? No.
Shikakai?
Sikandar?
Sikandar. Why are you talking about hair products?
No.
Yeah, Sikandar was very bad.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
I cannot. And I'm like, they've spent so much money in the promotion and this. Why not just hire a better writer?
Yeah.
Because see, Salman Khan is a great actor.
Yeah.
We love Salman Khan for like the longest time. But I don't know what's wrong with everyone.
I think they're just too old now, isn't it? I mean, there's a new Amir Khan movie coming out, Sitare Zameen Par.
Yeah, but that's already in a controversy already. Did you? Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of movies now. They're not great. Sometimes I find myself watching movies from back in the day. Sometimes I watch a Dil To Pagal Hai. I love Yes Boss. Hum Saath Saath Hai.
Yeah. How did you know?
Yeah.
That's my go-to movie. Hum Saath Saath Hai. Go-to.
You also sent me something.
Oh yeah, I did. That.
You're gonna look it up.
Yeah, that is my go-to movie.
Yeah, even I love it.
I love how there's like a minor inconvenience and then they go back to living happily ever after.
This is how we want life to be. Like everyone's like out there for a while and then they all come back together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But on that note,
yeah.
Hum Saath Saath Hain.
Hum Saath Saath.
For now.
Hum Saath Saath Rahenge.
Rahenge, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
But thank you so much for being here, Sidra. Do you have any parting message for the young women watching you?
There are too many. I don't think I'm a coherent speaker like you.
Just give one in terms of like how to face life.
You might have heard this a lot of times, but literally be yourself and work on yourself and always try to be better than who you were yesterday, even if it's 0.5%.
See, that's a great advice.
Oh, am I not amazing?
You are amazing. You were an incredible guest and I loved having you here.
I loved coming here. Can you please tell everyone I was 30 minutes before the podcast?
She was 30 minutes early. Yeah. So
I'm
thank you.
so excited to be here. I also have a new dress.
I know. We'll take a nice picture after.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sidra.
Thank you, Sheen.